Hey guys, so today I'm going to be filming my February TBR and I will be participating in Feminist Lit February, which is run by Jane Lindsay here on YouTube, and it's a reading challenge that takes place throughout the month of February, and the only requirement is to read feminist literature. There are 5 challenges, I believe, and they are to read a feminist fiction book, a feminist nonfiction book, a own voices book that's written by an author or characters that have had a different experience than you, or to read a book written by a Black woman, and then there's a freebie challenge. And the reason that the challenge to read a book by a Black woman is there because in February it's Black History Month, so she wanted to include that, and I wanted to mention that because all of the books that I'm reading in February are either for Feminist Lit February or for Black History Month. So I'm also reading books for school, and there's no way I'm reading all of these books, but I'm just going to show you all the books that I want to pick up, and we'll see if I get to any of them because my reading load this semester is insane, but I really do want to try to pick up at least a few of these. The first book that I want to pick up, at least I want to read a few short stories from, because there are quite a few, and that is The Awakening and Other Short Fiction by Kate Chopin. I was introduced to Kate Chopin in my short story class. We read The Story of an Hour and The Storm. I think I want to just focus on The Awakening in this, which is quite the majority. The Awakening takes up pretty much half of it, maybe a little more than half, including the introduction. So I do want to read this. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be able to, but I do want to read this. The next book I also want to make a priority to read, and that is Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. This is a short story collection, and it follows a lot of feminist themes. This was super popular on BookTube a few months ago, and then I also heard about it. The main reason why I wanted to pick it up is because of the podcast Call Your Girlfriend, and they interviewed this author, and she talked a lot about, the stories in it and the themes and stuff. So I do want to try to read at least a few. I did read the first story, The Husband's Stitch, and I gave that 5 stars, and that was crazy. So I would be on page 33 of this book. So I do want to just try to get in a few short stories. I don't expect to read all of this, but I do just want to pick some of it up. The next book is written by a Black author, so that could count for Feminist Lit February. And this is No One Is Coming to Save Us by Stephanie Powell Watts. And I heard about this book from Joss over at GoodReads. And this is a Great Gatsby retelling, but all of the characters are Black, and it dives more into the female characters in this book, and instead of using them to place thematic scenarios in the book, they're actually fleshed out people. So yeah, I'm really excited to pick this up. Again, I don't know if I'll get to this because this is quite a large book. It's 350 pages, which isn't that bad, but when you're a full-time college student reading stuff all the time, that's a lot to do. The next book I want to read, but honestly, I probably won't get to this one, and that is The Residue Years by Mitchell S. Jackson. I heard about this book because Mitchell S. Jackson actually came to my college, and he did a reading from his new book that's coming out, and he did read a little bit from The Residue Years, and primarily the whole reading was about Residue Years. So I did want to pick this up and read it, but I know this book is a slow burn type of thing, and it follows 2 characters, a son and a mother, and it's about their relationship, and it takes place in Portland, Oregon, and it's all about what it's like living in Portland and the community there as a Black person. So I do really want to read this. I've heard such amazing things about it, and I loved what I heard him read at the reading. So yeah, I don't know if I'll get to it though. The next book I'm definitely finishing, and that is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. I've been reading this book since last summer. I have just, like, every time I pick it up, I get really into it, but then I put it down, and then I just, like, never pick it back up because I don't want it to end. I'm on page 114, and I know I'll be able to read this book really, really quickly, so I definitely want to finish it in February because it's such an important novel, and I know how amazing it'll be. The next book that I want to read, but I don't know if I'll get to, is Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly, and this, I think everybody knows what this is about. This is a nonfiction book about the women who worked at NASA and kind of their experience there. I've had this book forever. I had this book before the movie even came out because I heard about it from Kirsty over at Ravenclaw Reading Room. She used to be called Melbourne on My Mind, but now she's Ravenclaw Reading Room, and I actually heard about this book from her, and I bought it, like, immediately, and I still haven't seen the movie, so I want to read this and then watch the movie, but I really want to pick this up. But again, I hate being a college student because you have to struggle with, like, I have to read, like, 4 books for class, but I just want to read my own books type of thing. The next book that I want to pick up is We Were 8 Years in Power by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and this is about, it's a nonfiction book about the 8 years that Barack Obama was president and what it was like being a black person in America in that time and what that experience was like for Ta-Nehisi Coates. I love Obama, so I just really want to read this. I also did read Ta-Nehisi Coates' other short little book, which called Between the World and Me, I think. And I really loved that, so I want to pick this up because I know I love his writing style. And then the last book that I want to pick up is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. And this book I mainly want to pick up because of my African American history class, and we will be learning about the Underground Railroad and, you know, Harriet Tubman and all that type of stuff. So I would like to pick this up. I know this is not a nonfiction book, I know this is fictional, but I've just heard such amazing things about it, so I'm definitely going to pick that up. So yeah, those are all the books that I want to pick up during Feminist Lit February and / Black History Month. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books, if you've loved them, anything of the sort. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!